Good afternoon. I'm Ethan Moy. I'm here with Coach B as part of the fifth episode, of Coach B Weekly. Coach B, it was your birthday yesterday, so happy belated birthday. I know we got in at 10 a.m. yesterday, but did you do anything fun for your birthday, or try to catch up on some sleep after the West Coast trip here?
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
As soon as I got off the plane and we came back and got organized. I had to meet a little bit with the staff, obviously, when we got back. But then when I finally got home, I was able to see some of my family that was able to come into town and see me for a little bit. And it was hard because I was really tired.
Oh, yeah.
Coming off the plane, off the red eye, I didn't sleep very much. So I tried to catch up with a little bit of sleep throughout the day and then kept working throughout. We have a game coming up.
Right.
So. I really couldn't take the day off and just have a birthday celebration and sleep and just be festive. I had to go to work a little bit too, and that's part of the lifestyle. And it's fine. I was really enjoying, seeing my family, being able to, obviously continue to prepare for next game. And that's really the most, joyful things that I have right now is family and work. And and I got to do both of those, so I'm great.
I'm gonna say it's a little different than when you were a kid and you have your birthday. Everyone you don't really have to do anything on your birthday, but now as adults we have to work on our birthdays. So.
Yeah, it's just part of the lifestyle. If you're a basketball coach at the Division I level, there's a lot of things that you have to make sure you're taking care of on a daily basis. It's very, very difficult ever to just get away from everything.
Right.
There's just so much going on, and especially when you're in the middle of the season. We just played a game the day before. We got a game coming up. There's so much that needs to be done from there to there.
Right.
A whole day off from that, could be, really detrimental to the program. So it's not in my culture. It's not in our culture.
Right.
So no, I definitely had a nice day with the family for a little while, and then I had a nice day of getting back in there and figuring out what we needed to do going forward.
Good. So we'll start off with talking about the road trip. It was a 2-1 road trip. Started out at Northern Kentucky, then played Cal Poly in San Francisco. We'll go in order here. First with Northern Kentucky, that was a 59-50 win. The defense played really well in that one. And you got off to a good start, had a 19-9 first quarter difference in there, and then held them to 26.1% shooting. They actually got they got half their points from the foul line in that contest. What did you see in scouting the Norse there that helped you prepare to play so well defensively against them?
Well, after we came off the loss that we had, we saw how we didn't come out play the kind of defense that we were capable of early on, and so we had that as something to look at as a model of where we really hurt ourselves in that game against Bowling Green. And that was a big focus going in, is that we knew coming out of the gate that we had to do a better job of setting the tone. And I thought that really helped us throughout the whole game, where we were continually getting good possessions on defense and getting stops. And, obviously some of the balls started to fall for us, and we started to gain a little bit of a lead there and took control of that game. The team could really see the rewards that we were reaping for our effort, especially setting the tone early on, and then we just had to then maintain it throughout. Right. Northern Kentucky is a well-coached team, and they don't quit, and we knew that. So even though we got off to a good start defensively, our mentality to continue to grind through it was really important, and I thought we did a good job of contesting a lot of shots throughout the whole course of the game. And when moments came where they made a push and a run at us, I think one of the biggest focuses is just to continue to do what we're doing and just keep plugging away and not hang our head. And we fought off some nice runs, and we ultimately had a pretty comfortable win.
Yeah, and then you follow that up with a 66-50 win over Cal Poly in the first day of the Share Slow Holiday Beach Classic. Two players that I thought played pretty well in that game were freshmen Hanuka Ikematsu and Laura Carrasco. Carrasco had 13 points, Ikematsu 12 points, 4 threes in that game. It seems like those two, your freshman class in particular, are gaining confidence. Those two in general really starting to gain confidence as the season starts to continue on here.
When you're young, you're a freshman, you're going to have games where you really explode and have great, production on the stat columns. And then there's games that you're going to struggle there a lot of times. Just getting adjusted to the different stuff you're going to see. you know, experience goes so far, and you know, getting those experience getting that experience out on the floor, getting those moments that only could be created by being out there and battling through these things, is what's going to teach them to have more of a consistent and a steady performance for us. Right now, you know, you could see the, you know, the seesaw battle here with some of the freshmen. But that's only going to get better if they continue to use those experiences going forward in a positive way and learn from what happened there, so that way it doesn't happen again. It was nice to see some of those breakout type of performances, some big shots being hit, and some, you know, the passion and the confidence to go in there and take those shots that they did. And they weren't bad shots, they were good shots, but the confidence to go in there and make it happen. That's what I was most proud of. And going forward, you know, I don't expect, because those breakthroughs happen, that we're not going to have moments. You know, we're learning every day. I'm learning every day.
Right.
So they got to continue to understand that, just to stay steady and understand that humility is not thinking too much or too little of yourself, and understanding whether they had a game where they felt they performed really well and filled up the stat column, or maybe they didn't so much, that they take it with grace every time and they're ready to come back with the same mentality. So I was really proud to see some great performances, and what I'm looking for now is, when those performances occur, that we continue, you know, to stay mentally focused.
There.
Yeah, humility. You know, you just got to keep coming to work every day with the same mindset, whether you had a great day or a rough day the day before. Bring it back again for the team.
I'm going to say Carrasco in particular, there was a stretch in the NKU game, we talked about a post game, where she had she made a nice drive of her weak hand, her left hand, through traffic to score a big layup when NKU was kind of coming back, and then on the next trip down the floor defensively took a charge, and, you know, it felt like that kind of catapulted her, you know, gave her some confidence going forward for the rest of that game, and then into Cal Poly, where, again, like I said, she had 13 points.
We talk about that all the time when we watch the video. You know, the video doesn't lie. You know, there's perception and there's reality.
Right.
You know, when you get into that video, the reality comes out. That's the total reality. And we've got great clips of players and freshmen and players doing it for the first time, stepping in and taking charges in practice and games. And then we got clips where they've backed off and they've gone backwards to what they were doing before. And so that, you know, those are the moments, again, that you got to capture in your mind, and you got to fill up your heart and say, boy, how great it felt when I turned that corner and was willing to take that charge, or to do something very, very physical or heroic for my team. That's the way it's got to be every time. My team's got to be able to count on me, that when that moment comes again, they're going to get this one. They're going to get this clip that you're all watching right now.
And then there's going to be more of those positive clips than, you know, the negative clips.
That's what we're working on.
Yeah. Now, lastly, in terms of the 3-game road trip here, it was a 57-45 loss against San Francisco on Saturday. You know, like I mentioned before, it was a 2-1 road trip. What do you think the key differences were between the 2 wins and, you know, the loss to the Dons?
Well, San Francisco, you know, the level of competition went up there. They play very fast, and when people think when teams play fast, it's
up
you know,
and down the floor.
3-on-1, 3-on-2s constantly.
They moved the ball really well.
Yeah, when they got the ball down there, you're right. They flew the ball around, and you know, they took advantage of some of the lazy tendencies that maybe weren't being uncovered in the games before, that they were able to do and integrate it into their offense. And so they challenged us. They challenged us to talk faster, to listen to what was being spoken to them quickly, not just to get out the actions on defense that we needed to defend, but then also to react to it and to be on the same page. You know, they challenged us with that, and sometimes we responded, and when we did, again, when you watch the video, you'll see that we did some great things. We got stops, we caused live ball turnovers, forced travels and things like that. But when we didn't do well at it and we didn't communicate well, they took advantage. When they got open looks, they knocked them down a lot. They played fast. Their guards, too, in the lane were very dynamic with finding open players when helping. They were great at help and recovery. They caused help, and they challenged your recovery and your rotation. We saw that in video. It's easily said that you're going to stop it, but when you go out there, you can't let them cause help. And we were allowing them to go by us too much, get into the lane, get those straight line
So when someone
drives.
slides over, then, you know, someone's going to be open there out in the wing, and they drilled those shots.
That's what they were, and they were finding the players that
Yep.
were open. It wasn't always the same player, so it gave them a lot of credit. And you know, it's a tough thing to do, is to end a road trip like that after you took the first two, and then to fall in that last one. You know, you want to get back on that plane that night. You know, as we were heading out that night, it would have felt great if we would have took all three and then ended it on a great note. But we got to take the positives from it. You know, and that's what we've been doing. We've been going back to the video. We've been watching the reality, and we've been handling everything with truth and ready to go forward with grace. And hopefully we can make it a positive thing in the end, where we use those moments that we struggled in that game to go forward and to fix them for the next time we see that, you know, those same kind of actions and what they were doing. We'll remember that game, hopefully, as then and now. You know, like you see the then and now photos. You know, we will show a clip of how this is how we defended it then, and we weren't ready to do this, and it's now how we looking now, and it's a great joy to see that. You know, that's growth and that's progress. So hopefully, with the loss that we had, you know, on Saturday, that we can really grow from it now. And we're going to the video, and we're going to get it going, and we're going to get it going in practice, and that's really important. But then when we get out there in the game, you know, we got to be ready to battle through those moments. And that's what I think, you know, the biggest thing with the younger players especially is they're learning how to battle. You know, battling isn't just throwing a hard shot. You know, anyone could throw a hard shot once in a while and land one. It's when you get hit is when you got to be able to respond. And so we took a hit on Saturday. Now we got to respond coming back.
Absolutely. And mentioning, you know, the underclassmen, the young players there. One of your young players, Nneka Ezigbo, had a pretty solid week. She made the all-tournament team at Cal Poly. She averaged a little over 12 points, 7 boards, 2 steals, and almost 2 blocks in the 3-game road trip there. You know, she showed flashes, obviously, last year as a freshman, making the All-NEC rookie team. But how important is it to have her, you know, get going and be a solid post presence for the Colonials?
Well, it's very important. Everybody that's on the roster has to be ready to go for us, and they all bring something different to this team. And you know, Nneka's bringing a very physical, athletic, strong presence inside, both on offensively and defensively. Obviously still learning the game as a sophomore. She came in raw when it came to her knowledge of the game. And she's learning. Some of the things that I see on video and that we go over with her and we go over with the team, you can see her understanding a lot about more defense and a lot about more offense. And that's a joy to see, you know, to be teaching her how to grow up on the court and off the court is what I'm in it for. And she's someone that if she continues to grow, you know, she could be a very strong, dominant player for us. Out there in California and, you know, in Kentucky, you know, she came and gave us a different presence inside. You know, Michaela has done a great job for us over her career as well. She had some great moments as well. She really played like a senior in a lot of those stretches out there on this road trip.
Second half against San Francisco, she played really well.
Really well. A lot of and ones, you know, a lot of finishing around the basket and ones and playing with a lot of passion. So I think as a senior, she continues with that. It's a great model for Nneka going forward is, you know, Michaela, how she's developed and how her passion has been consistent lately. That's something that Nneka needs to continue on with. With her, it's going to be all, you know, her work ethic and continuing to want to grow and not to settle for the player she is. You get some awards sometimes, and you get a false perception that you know you're always going to be at that level. You could fall down very quickly. Fame is fleeting. You know, awards and all that stuff. Fame is fleeting.
Funny that you mentioned that when we were close to Hollywood.
Yeah, that's right. We were in Hollywood. We were right next to Hollywood. We were going to try to make it over there. Too bad it was around Thanksgiving time. It was so the congestion of traffic was crazy. But you're right, though. I mean, you're near Hollywood. It kind of makes you think, you know, that the message sent there. But you know, fame is fleeting, Ethan. It's amazing how when someone's taught that lesson, you could really see the look on their face when they first figure that out. You know, you can't live your life through awards and live your life through individual, you know, things like that. You know, we're playing a team game here. And in life in general, it's a team situation. You know, you just don't go out there and do what's for you and be selfish. You have to understand that, you know, the things that are really priceless here are the things that we're doing as a team. And if she got some awards in the past, that's not going to do anything for her going forward with getting better. And I think she understands that, and that's something that our team really focuses on. That's a part of our culture, is that, you know, we're in it for the team, we're in it for higher purposes, not for, you know, individual awards. Don't let those distract you from how you got that award. How'd you get it was focusing in on being a better player. Now don't settle. You know, Nneka is someone that really, when she gets the ball inside, is a very passionate physical force in there, and some of the stuff that I've seen her developing in, reading defenses better, double teams and stuff, a lot of it has to do with her daily battles with Michaela and the other forwards in practice, and obviously developing in with Coach Schneider, who works at the posts. You know, obviously that has a lot to do with that right now. So just stay on track and keep, you know, staying focused with her is going to be big. And you know, we have Ozzy, who was injured out there. You know,
she showed some flashes at Michigan State.
For sure. And there's another student athlete that came over here with a lot of natural ability, and she's got a lot of things she's got to focus on to continue to grow. She's got a lot of areas to learn and stuff, but you know, you could see the progression here you got. And Michaela is a senior, and Nneka coming back as a sophomore had some success. And you got Ozzy there. You know, they all got to learn from each other. You know, the experience comes down the ladder there, and hopefully they're all continuing to follow each other up it. So we're going to be working on that. And it's you know, it's funny you mentioned Nneka, because I just seen her just a few minutes ago. You know, she had a big smile on her face, and it seemed like she's really enjoying, you know, what she's doing out there right now and the progress. So that's what means everything to me.
I'm gonna say you got 3 really talented posts, and not a lot of schools in Division I can really say that.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, lastly here, we're back home. 5 of the next 6 here at the North Athletic Complex, was pretty nice. 2 this week with Youngstown State on Wednesday, and then Monmouth on Sunday. You know, coming off this road trip with 2-1, a lot of positives. Do you think you can use that as a springboard going forward to, you know, rack up some wins on this coming homestand?
Well, you know, one game at a time. You know, we're just focused on Youngstown State, and you know, I think that anytime, you know, you play a game, whether you win or lose, you got to go back and watch the reality. Is like I was saying, that's a big part of, you know, this talk today is we're talking about video and reality. You got to go back to the reality of it and know that, you know, your next game, whether you're coming off a win or a loss, has to be focused in the same way. And so hopefully, you know, with seeing the things that we needed to do better, you know, coming back home and getting into our home regiment, you know, we'll be able to come out there on Wednesday and do some things better that were costly for us in that last contest. You know, one of the big things that people sometimes lose track of is they start looking ahead, you know, and we can't ever do that. You know, last night I did catch something on TV. It was
the Steelers-Packers game.
Yes.
And now, you know, the Packers are down right now, and they still almost got him. Brent Huntley played really well, and Steelers kind of looking to head towards the Patriots.
Yeah, I didn't catch most of the game because I had a lot of stuff to do for us when it came to, you know, looking at video and doing work. But I caught the pregame. I watched the pregame, and in the pregame, Tony Dungy sitting there, and you had Rodney Harrison. And Tony Dungy just had interviewed Mike Tomlin, and he was talking to Mike Tomlin about, you know, the Patriots and the game coming up, and that's 3 weeks away. And he's saying, you know, you guys got that game marked with the Patriots and the Patriots. And I'm thinking to myself, man, they're not even talking about Green Bay. And they got Green Bay on Monday night. They got this young quarterback coming in, and he obviously has a lot of energy to improve and to prove himself and everything. And I'm thinking, man, this just sounds like one of those total look-past games. You're at home on Monday night.
Almost was.
Yeah, or Sunday night. Yeah, I mean, it almost was. So Rodney Harrison said, I really feel like the Steelers are looking past the Packers. I wouldn't be surprised if the Packers gave them all they can handle. And then Coach Dungy, who's in the Hall of Fame, he actually defended, saying, no, you know, everyone looks at the Patriots ahead. I think the Steelers will be fine. I'm thinking, come on, Coach, you're a coach now. There's no way that you're saying that you're fine, you're looking ahead. I think he just interviewed Mike Tomlin. He was kind of being real, you know, positive because he had a good connection with Mike Tomlin, and that's great. But I think he wasn't being truthful to himself, maybe unintentionally, but as it turned out, Rodney Harrison was absolutely correct. You know, the Packers came out and pumped in 2 touchdowns quickly, and Pittsburgh's defense was not playing well. And and I did catch that beginning of that game, and I said, boy, you know, everyone looks at it as offense. You know, they say, well, if your offense comes out and scores right away, oh, you're ready. They got you ready.
Yeah.
What about the defensive side of the ball? I mean, those guys were wide open, and they were going in for uncontested touchdowns. And I think Rodney Harrison was right. He did pick the Steelers to win the game, so he was right every way, shape, or form. They didn't take him real seriously, and they almost wound up losing that game. And I'll tell you something again. You know, when it comes to college sports, you know, a lot of times people look at, you know, the pros and the college. They say, well, it's two different things. When you're going out there and competing, it's about focus.
Yeah.
Certain things, when it comes to pros and college, have different variables, different types of things that can distract you. But there's always going to be distractions out there in life in general. And you just got to find a way not to allow those things to happen. You know, and it goes from not just players, it goes to coaches, it goes everywhere. It goes for anywhere outside of sports. Things can distract you all the time from what your focus is. Our focus right now has to be completely on Youngstown State. Exactly right. And we're going to get after it, and we're going to go hard. And no matter what happens in any one of these games that we play, and especially coming up on Wednesday night, it's going to be about our effort. All I'm going to care about is how hard we play and how much we go out there and execute the game plan. And then whatever happens at the end of the day, that's the building blocks. That's a brick right there that we build from. Whether we win or lose, you know, that's going to be something that's going to teach us how to put ourselves in a better position to win throughout the season.
Absolutely. Once again, thank you for joining me, and good luck this week.
Thanks a lot, Ethan.
Games will be on Wednesday against Youngstown State. That's at 7 p.m. And then Sunday against Monmouth at 1 p.m. Both games can be seen on NEC Front Row.